Hey friends, Zen Kuna here. Today is an active recovery day for me, so I'm going to show you a sequence of movements that you can do using a pair of clubs, a straight staff, and a double ball staff. Let's do it. We'll begin with the straight staff. What I'm doing is I'm feeling my way along, paying attention to how my body is responding to the initial movement. Then we'll throw in a second part. So I'm just gradually working into fuller and fuller moves. Now I'm going to come back, hold it in one of my tighter positions here, and then I'm going to try and pull the staff apart. So we're going to do an isometric hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bring it over and then all the way back. Excellent. All right, shifting over to the double ball staff. Instead of working from the staff itself, we're going to work from the double balls. We call this the twist and crank. Then we'll take it through a few paces of swinging. Hand shift. Then alternating. Nice thing about working from the balls is it gives you great digital dexterity. Because to do this move correctly, you have to let the ball move through your hands. You can't have a death grip on it. On active recovery days, I like to take my body through lots of different moves. So just everything gets a little touch of movement. And by the way, don't feel like you always have to do exact moves, something that you've seen somewhere else. Feel free to do things. Did you see what I was doing here? It just felt like a good thing to do. And as I'm doing that more, I can feel that I've got just a little bit of a twinge of aggravation or irritation, inflammation in that right deltoid area today. So I'm going to be particularly aware of that as I'm doing my active recovery today. All right. So then let's include a little bit more of the body here. We're going to do our, now when you're leaning back like this, here's one of the keys. Press the earth away, tighten the glutes, engage the abdominals. Then we're going to hip hinge, just sit back a little bit, squat down about a half squat, bring the staff down, back up again. So I'm engaged and sit down. So just good whole body engagement throughout. Most people make the error of only focusing on the area being used, so just their biceps or just their triceps. Our focus in Primal Nature Play is to focus on engaging the entire body and being very thorough in our movement. All right, a few shoulder rolls. Now what I'm going to do is press the staff, so just like I'm trying to compress it from the balls. And while I'm doing that, roll my shoulders back and then go ahead and do a forward and back. Activating the neck muscles more. Then we'll do a little side glide. Then we'll do a forward glide. And then we're going to reach our head out and over to the side. Think of your cheek going up. It's like you're trying to touch right behind the ear with your shoulder, but don't lift the shoulder up, reach the head over. All right. So then we're going to do a twisted X from low position. Then from the high position. Then we're going to bring it down behind the head. What we're going to do is just hold on to the balls, open the feet a little bit wider. We're going to make a little twist to bring the one elbow to opposite knee and back up. Just coming down towards that opposite knee. And I'm actually squatting back a little bit, so hip hinging. Then I'm going to put the staff down for a moment. One hand behind my back, one hand behind my head. And I'm going to do the same kind of movement, just want to show it to you without using a staff. You can also rotate back and then forward and down. Back, forward and down. Great move. Opposite side. All right, let's do front arm circle. Opposite way. Then we're going to do open the gate. Reverse direction. Excellent. All right. So let's pick up our double ball staff again. We're going to bring our arms up behind us. So we'll begin with holding on to the balls. We're just going to lift up, and then we're going to put a lift and bend with that. Now you can do it with your legs relatively straight, or you can do it with your legs where you do a little hip hinging, bend the knees. I like it both ways, but for this morning, I want to open up the legs more. Then go ahead and put your staff down. And by the way, if you don't have a double ball staff, you can do all these movements with just a short, straight staff. So let's interlace the fingers and press the palms down. Roll the shoulder blades back towards each other, and we'll lift up as high as we can. So we do that for 6. On 6, hold it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release, shake it out. Now if you can't do that with your palms all the way together, you can do it with your palms apart. So it would look like, if you can't do this, go ahead and just open the palms and do it that way. Okay, back to the double ball staff. Let's just go through a little sequence. So we'll do side circle and back circle. Back to side circle, make a hand shift. So, side circle, back circle, and side circle again. So basically it's 5 counts. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Little clue for this: when you're going to do your side circle, your elbow will be forward. Then turn elbow out and do your back circle. Just make that distinct. Other little trick of the trade is after you've done your 5 swings, bend your elbow so it goes out to the side, and that brings the double ball staff up to where you can grasp it easily. Just reach your bicep of the bending arm here, this arm, right behind the ear. So there you've got your staff right there, and bring it around. You can actually just practice that move. It's a good move to be able to feel where things are in space. Works the shoulder joint beautifully. Also gets wrists, of course, and elbow. All right, let's just go through a few. Then let's go to Indian clubs. This is a new pair I got. 1 black walnut, 1 spalted maple. Got these from Mike Romiski up in Idaho. I'm going to switch off hands here. All right. Always hold your equipment and whatever feels right. So today, the black walnut felt better in my right hand, so that's what I'm doing. Always listen to your body. So we're going to start with roll the shoulders back and down so we're upright. And let's just do a basic preparatory move, which is up, out, back behind the shoulder, so you're coming near shoulder, back out again to the front and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. So you can do your inhalation and your exhalation. Last one. All right, so a little reminder about your Indian clubs. Remember that there are many, 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 many ways that you can use your clubs. You can use them held right down at the bottom. You can hold them up higher. You can put a finger over a knuckle if you have the type of club that has that. We call this a knuckle, that little piece of wood right there. You can hold them this way. You can choke up right underneath the barrel. So if you choke up on a club, it makes it easier. It feels lighter because the leverage is less. So they're your clubs, and they can be used in a myriad ways. So take advantage of that. Don't get stuck in doing it just one way. So what we're going to do is a basic side circle swipe with light clubs. It's a great one for recovery. We're going to go high at first. Then we're going to go low. So just right over the shoulder. Elbows come up. Then we're going to bring the clubs here, straighten the arms up. We call this a salute swipe. So I just want to show you a little something. When you're doing that move to here, basically, if you remember how I teach clubs, this is the 3 position. This is our 2 position. This is our 1 position. So can you see how when I'm starting off with this move, I'm in a 1 position, right? It's a 1 position. So regardless of where I'm holding this club, if I'm holding it like this in a saber grip, it is a 1 position. Then it goes right through a 2 position to 3. So it goes right from a 1 through the 2 to the 3. The reason I throw this in is because when I teach people personally, when they come to me from around the country, around the world, and we go into our Indian clubs, our club bells, our kettlebells, whatever it is, we always start from the bottom line to make sure that they have the basics. So I want you to have the basics out there in YouTube family. So it is into a 3 position, overhead. Now you're going to flip it with your fingers, your digital dexterity, up to 1 and down. So into 3, up to 1. All right, so then let's just go into an alternating cross. And then we're going to reverse that. We're going to do an alternating salute. And then we're going to do what we call the mixer in Primal Nature Play. So the mixer, with one arm, you're doing a salute. With the other arm, you're doing a cross. So it looks like this. Reverse it. Once you notice that there's a little drag of the upper arm, so the front arm can come down. All right, next up, we're going to do the combo. So combo looks like this. We come over, low over the shoulders, out to the sides, cross in the front, back up, and to the front again. So you're coming down behind near shoulder. See that? Near shoulder. So you're in the side circle, you go out to the side, cross in the front, and back. Last one. All right, so now we're going to put one club down. And continuing with our active recovery, we're going to do some hand shifts. So we're going to use both a front hand shift and a backhand shift. It's always good to practice these moves. I'm really big about hand shifts in general. That's why I like to train a lot with a single club, whether it's a lighter weight Indian club like this, which is just about 2.5 pounds, or if I'm using a 5 or 8 or 9 or 10 pound club. So with heavier clubs, the type of hand shift we do is just a hand shift like so. But with lighter clubs like this, we're going to do this type of a shift. So this is a low position shift. This would be a medium position shift. And this would be a high shift. So at different times, you want to do different levels, depending on what your desired outcome is. Remember, you're your guru. You want to be mindful of yourself. Do what your body needs each time you train. We train every single day. Our movement practice is 365. And when do we train? First thing in the morning? Yes, we do. But we also train multiple micro workouts, or playouts as we call them, throughout the day. 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so this has all been front hand shift. Now let's look at a backhand shift. So backhand. Let's take a look at it from the back so you can see what it is I'm doing. So backhand shift, you can see it comes up and you sweep out and down. Up, out and down. So that's backhand shift. So what we'll do is we'll go front hand shift, back and forth. So here's what it's looking like. So front hand shift, backhand shift. Then we can do a double front shift, go the other way. You miss it every once in a while, that's okay. All right, now what we're going to do is throw in a single cross. So backhand shift, single cross. Backhand shift to a salute. Backhand shift to a back circle cast. So you can see there's all sorts of ways that you can use your clubs when you only are using one. The hand shifts just add so many new dynamics to your club swinging. So if you've only been using 2 clubs, start exploring single club play. Now what we're going to do is a cross with one hand, salute with the other, back shift with one hand, cross with the other, then we're going to do a cross again. We're going to do a pair of back circle shifts, and then we're going to come around into the front again, into the back, into the front, into the back, double front. So we've reversed our direction. All right, so for me, I feel like I've had a good amount of play going on with my upper body, but I want to do a little bit more with lower body. Now, in doing that, I want you to understand something. You always have your whole body with you the whole time. So get out of this idea that's been around for a long time about isolation, isolation, isolation. It's not that we never do isolation. However, the bottom line is that we are still all here. So when I'm doing any move, I am connecting all the way through my body. So I'm going to pick up the double ball staff again. Once again, you can just use your straight staff for this if you'd like. Or if you're using your double ball staff and you just feel like holding on to the shaft part of it, go ahead. So we're going to do a few more moves that are going to be a little bit more leg engaging. So the way we'll do it is we'll take a simple move, so just lifting the double ball staff up. But what we're going to do is do a reverse dragon lunge. So we're going to, in other words, when I say reverse, instead of stepping forward, we're stepping back. So you can call it a back dragon lunge. Now, some people call this the curtsy. And I'm sorry, but I am not calling that the curtsy. I never have called it the curtsy. It's never going to happen to call it the curtsy. I have my own preferences. So if you like calling that the curtsy, well, all right. But for me, it's a dragon lunge. Sounds much better to my ear. Okay, that was my rant. Here, let's go on with the workout here. Play it out into your dragon lunge. Don't make it fast. Take your time. Feel your ankle, your toes, your knees, your hips. Notice what's going on. Active recovery day, especially, we want to be mindful. What is it we're feeling? Does this feel good? Make sure that you don't go so that you have a discomfort level of above a 3. When I say discomfort, I mean we don't want pain here. Now there might be some soreness, but you don't want anything above a 3. So just a basic dragon lunge. Let's do one more. All right, good. So after doing that, I'm going to take a significantly wider stance. And what we're going to do here is, from this higher position, we're going to bring the double ball staff right to the underarm. We're going to bend over. One knee bends a little bit, and you're back up. Same thing here, active recovery, so we're doing slower, coming down. So one little cue here is, see where my arm is in relationship to my head. So I don't want to lead with my arm. So my head's way up here, my arm's down there. What I want is my head and arm to stay close together. So when I'm in this position, here instead of this, and back up. So just a little bending, hip hinging. This one I really feel the joints opening up in the knee and the hips. And there you have it. All right. So this has been a good active recovery for me. Next up, I'm going to go for a hike through the forest here. I'm going to scamper on some rocks over here. I'm going to do some skipping, yes, skipping, as I go up the hill, and then practice skipping down the hill. Now, when you're going downhill skipping, remember, you can get some pretty big bounds going on. Make sure that your joints are prepared for that, and make it fun. Remember, active recovery day, so you want to do something that has some vigor in it, but don't do anything that's exhausting at all. Because after an active recovery day, play out, what you want to feel is invigorated. You want to feel revitalized. You want to feel ready for whatever else you're going to do in the rest of your day. Remember, ultimately, you are the guru, so it's up to you to make it the way you want it, your whole life, not just your play out.